Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? How have your games been going since last week? Have you played any games since last week? Hmm. It is open reviews, so if you would like me to take a look at your game, I just need a link to your game. And I will be happy to review your game and give you some advice. Welcome, welcome, people that are joining. It is open reviews. Just need a link to your game if you are just now joining. 20 and 24Q. That's not too bad, though. It means you're still learning the ropes. Is that 19 by 19, or is it like 9 by 9, 13 by 13? Have you watched the Classy Approach series? Has that helped? Do you have a game? I can look at it. Maybe give you some tips. A lot of it's going to be watching your second line cutting points and then watching your cutting points in general. Not missing captures. Learn your nets and ladders. I have a lot of free stuff for 20Q. Sameko Dragon's campaign mode for beginners is free. The Classy Approach series is free. And then open reviews twice a week, which is also free. How many games have you played? Is that sometimes is a contributing factor? Is that you haven't played enough games? About 80? Not too bad. That's pretty good. Is that 19 by 19? If you're on YouTube, you have to send the end of the URL because YouTube doesn't like URLs. So just give me the ID at the end of the link. Sanareso. Oh, the fact they don't stretch this is really annoying. Looks like you're not doing too bad. It's going back and forth.
Review started.
Yeah, YouTube doesn't like links, so you have to give me the ID, unfortunately. Let's download this. Go to demo board, upload. Okay. You are black. Hey, buddy. I'm streaming right now. Why do you only bother me when I start talking to myself? If I'm quiet, you don't bother me. Do you think I'm going crazy because I'm talking to myself? It's okay, buddy. I'm not going crazy. There are people listening to me. You just don't know that. Okay. I like that you're not afraid of pincers. In the Chinese opening, though, this is more common because you're building the right side. Okay, I'll keep that tabbed. If you want, you can check out this database, es.walltheory.net. This has a lot of pro games. Oh, it doesn't have this approach though. Let me. There we go. You can see the most common move 88% of the time is to play this jump. It's because building the right side is quite big. And to play this way, you can play like this and then even extend, and you can see that we just play normal. You're actually building quite a large position. If they go in, you just play in the knight's move. And then this is kind of an opening pattern. Yeah, you don't have to remember all of this, but it's kind of an opening pattern that you're building a lot of stuff. But not to say this move's bad, just not this normal one. Okay, so we know that the normal move when we get surrounded is the jump. So if our opponent doesn't jump, then we want to take that option away from them. So you're actually wanting to do this. This will build the influence. And imagine they connect like this, and then play a big move. Later on the right side, imagine you get this jump. You can see this right side is looking very large. So later in the game, this wall will be very valuable. If you play this way, it's also okay, but your stone at M17 can be leaned on a little bit. I like that you're playing defense. Unfortunately, you're ignoring the corner to do so. No, this is too soon. You still need to defend the corner. And white is still not alive. Also, a good rule of thumb is if you have a two-space jump like this, and they have a stone on both sides of your two-space jump, you want another move. You want to jump. Okay, so the two-space jump is normally secure, but if there's a stone on both sides of it, then you want another jump. Nope. Up to the center. Want to go up to the center. The second line is not where you want to be. Second line is small. Making a base is good. Hello, Emirates. I did, but I had to do them off of the Zoom call because they forgot to make a room 2, and I was scheduled to go in room 2, and there was no breakout room number 2. And I asked like 4 times for the breakout room number 2, and no one would respond, and no one created it. So I just left the Zoom call and recorded it because I wasn't going to wait forever. I had to do the recording offline. Yeah. I waited like 10 minutes, but I'm like, I'm not going to work longer than I'm scheduled to work. So I'm not going to wait around 30 minutes and then still record another hour or whatever. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, that was the reason. There was no room two for me to do the reviews. Like it just didn't exist, and I couldn't go in the other rooms because they were used by other teachers. Jump is the move. This one has a weak point right here, so it's not like it's any better. This is an odd move. I think you like the second line too much. Attach here, pull back, fix the cut, block the corner. That is a very efficient base. This one, though, now you're having to make life on the second line. So it's a little bit less valuable. Okay. Okay, now you're back to the third line, so that's fine. Touch Nobi, very good. And now we can leave. We don't actually have to respond because there's no cutting point. There's no cutting point, you don't have to respond. Gotcha. Yeah, if there's no cutting points, you don't have to respond. So I think the next move to do is to approach white. Probably the next thing to do. Okay. This is possible. We're at 20Q, so everything's possible, I guess. So typically you don't want to push from behind if you can jump. But when you jump, you have to double check that there's no cutting point. As long as there's no cutting point, you can jump. If there is a cutting point that works, you push one more and then jump. As long as the second line cuts don't work. That way, we're not pushing from behind for forever. All right, if white does this, we are alive, so we can be aggressive here. Let's just cut. No need, you're already alive. So you can start fight. Yeah, here you're on the second line again. Okay. This one's fine because you're breaking white's influence, so it's good. I think you miss. Okay. You didn't misread, but it's unnecessary, I think, but okay. Yeah, it's clever. It's definitely clever. But here's the thing. So let's say it's clever, right? But do you want to be playing in this area on the top right, or do you want to be playing in the bottom right or the bottom left? So you want your strategy to tell you where to play. And your clever or tactics is the way you can play in that area. So you're being clever, but you're being clever in an area that's not important right now. So can't say like locally you're not doing something, but globally you need to be at the big stuff. So it's not that your ideal is wrong, it's that you're not at the big important place. Because now white can ignore and just go fix their cutting point. Second line is really small. I think that's going to be the biggest thing to take away from this game is get off the second line. You're on the second line too much. It's sometimes it's okay, but like you're doing it so often. Mm-hmm. I don't see the value of any of these moves. Like, you're playing a straight line. You need to get to the big framework. Get to the big empty areas. If you're not cutting something, then what are you doing? Yeah, you see how white's surrounding chunks of the board? You're not surrounding anything. So you're just making a straight line, and that's not good. Second line again. Making a base is good. Touch Nobi, very good. Don't get cut, very good. And maybe you could get one more just to make sure that your base is good and spacious. That way you can make sure you're alive. Okay. You did destroy this area, so that's good. The next open section is going to be this left side. This is good shape to reduce this section, but the section's not the biggest yet. So it looks like locally you have some good tactics. There are definitely some mistakes, but there are some good tactics as well. But your strategy or where you want to be is off the mark because you're not at the big stuff soon enough. It takes you a while to get to the biggest thing to do. So in this case, the biggest thing would be the left side. So you could do this. You could do this and then maybe play like that or like that. And then at that point, you would start in game. Hi, Cat. Are you bullying your sister? I heard you two in there not being happy with each other. Mm-hmm. Who is this good for? It's a nice cut by white. But I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to make the judgment call here. This is definitely valuable into your base. White did capture these two stones, though, which is quite large. That's okay. Just go reduce the left and start in game. You can go 2 space. That's okay. All right, and now we start in game. So now you can play the second line. So I think here, and then first line. Then we can go here, and then first line. Actually, we can't do that one because that activates the cutting point. You can go first line here. We can push right here. We can actually do this cutting point to get these points right here. As you can see that white actually is in a lot of trouble. Yeah, that's a life and death problem. But anyway, you can block right here if that's too difficult to read. The idea, though, is to start in game. Yeah, that would be the idea here. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, so now it's a life and death problem. Oh, you left. Do you think it's alive? Are you alive? I don't think you're alive. Oh, this is a game experience of noticing that this was your base. I think that's the important thing here is you didn't notice that you were losing your base. Yeah, if we play it this way, this is technically dead. I think the simplest is to just reduce the ice space and then play the 3 in a row. I have no idea what this move does. Yeah, I want to say the second line stuff is the big takeaway. Don't do that until endgame. Yeah, life and death, you have to do like 1,000+ problems. It's okay. You'll get there. It's not going to be something you master overnight. That's like kind of like a savings account. Putting money in a savings account for 1 month doesn't really do much, but putting money into a savings account for years does a lot. So life and death is compounding. So that's what you want to think with life and death. You just never stop doing it. Go problems in general, it's like that. I think the big thing you want to worry about is making sure that there's a foundation for your group. If you lose that foundation, it becomes a life and death problem, which you don't have a lot of practice with yet. So just make sure you're not losing your foundation of your group. Like if your opponent goes here, you need to see that, hey, they're threatening my foundation of my group, so it's worth blocking. Okay, so that's when a second line move is okay, is you're blocking your foundation. But if you're not doing that, then you don't need to be on the second line. And then getting to the big framework a little bit faster, and then endgame. Those are my 3 tips from this. Yeah, hopefully you found that review helpful. Okay, downloading this one. All right, am I reviewing for black or for white? And for what level? Black, white, and what level? I have a question. Why is it still cold outside? It's March. Like the pool's supposed to open. Why is it still cold? Yeah, your turn. Are you black or white? And what level are you? Black, thank you. Oh, almost single digit Q. Okay. Oh, it's a handicap game. What's white's rank? Why? It's thief gotta be single digit Q. If they're approaching here instead of here. 1Q once upon a time. Yeah. What the fudge? It just jumped back to the start. Uh-oh. It's a bug. Oh no, maybe it can't handle handicap. If I click to the branch, it goes back to the start. What if I refresh? Goes back to the start. I wonder if there's a bug with handicap. Okay, so I can't click the tree. I gotta click the tree. Otherwise I can't do branches. Okay, so they approach, you kicked because you have a pincer stone, very good. Here, this sort of shape you don't really want. Hello, bats, welcome, welcome. This sort of shape you don't really want, and this is because the star point doesn't want the corner unless it absolutely has to get the corner. So what you actually want is to escape to make sure that you're not getting the corner. And when your opponent plays like this and you block, you can see that you've still got a base, you still got your foundation, but you're going to attack either the top or the right side. something like that. But if you just end up with only the corner and no influence, this is going to be such an annoying bug. Then you're going to be in a little bit uncomfortable shape. Also, don't leave. Your opponent, you kick your opponent, they're supposed to extend, right? So touch Nobi, touch Nobi. That's what we learned. So if your opponent doesn't do it, you need to punish. And this is the big thing with handicap games, is you are given a lot of opportunities to attack the opponent with support because you are not going to be as good as attack and defense as they are. That's why you're given extra soldiers to attack with. 1 second, I got a phone call. Yeah, I told them I was streaming. If they want to talk, they can donate. Yeah, I was like, hey, is this important? I'm streaming. I am working right now. If it's not important. Okay. So yeah, you want to punish thing. As black, you are the attacker, usually. You get to be the attacker. Yeah, back to start. I honestly am tempted to play this way. I don't know. I'm tempted to play this way. It doesn't look that bad. Oh, this is such an annoying bug. What if I upload it again? Maybe. Oh my gosh, this is such an annoying bug. But bats, we are sponsored by Explore Baduk today. Today is showing off the website, which, to be fair, I haven't experienced this before, so I really think it's a handicap bug. Oh, I need to report it. That's right. I'm supposed to be reporting these things. Support. The branch navigates to the start.
Damn it.
Nice. Welcome, welcome. Let me know if you have any questions. I am here to answer questions to help you guys improve and fall in love with the game more. In this game, when I clicked a stone in the branch, it would navigate all the way to the start. I think it might be because it is handicap, question mark? I'm not sure. Okay. That's a very good question. Let me get a new tab. What I'm gonna do? That is a thing that a lot of people don't understand. But let's create a demo. Let's make it 5 by 5 first. Oh, I can't make it 5 by 5. Okay, 9 by 9. Blah blah blah. Chinese rolls. 6. Okay. Yeah, it's not a dumb question. It's actually a very confusing part to new players. I'm thinking about how I want to make sure I word this right. Okay, I need a 5x5 for this. I'm sorry, I need a 5x5 for this. Okay, so let's say we're playing, right? The kind of the rule of thumb, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get more pieces on the board, right? Now, the rule says you need more area or whatever, but let's talk about what that represents. So if I play like this, it's okay, black wins because black has more area. But what does that mean? Well, it means that if we put all the pieces in like this, I'm going to have more pieces on the board than white. Now, why do we not do that? Because if we do that, then eventually black's going to capture you. Okay, so you can't fill all of it. You have to play something like this where you have two spaces that I can't play. I can't play here, I can't play here. Okay, and that's it. That's how many pieces you have on the board. And then black has to do the same thing. So black will fill it and then make two eyes. And now we can't play anymore. Like literally we cannot play anymore. Right? So because if I play white, I'm going to get captured. Now I have no stones on the board, so I lose. Right? So here's what the end would look like. Hi, cat. And here is a cat. Hi, cat. So we would stop here. We would say, I can't play anymore because it's illegal for me to play on your side. But also, if I play on my side, I'm going to get captured. Okay, so I'm done. I pass. Anything left, it's not going to work. Right? There's nothing else for me to play. So now we could count the pieces on the board. So we still see that the area is 2. But basically, we would say, hey, here's this many white stones plus 3. This many black stones times 2 plus 3. Right?
Hermiest just followed.
So this is how, thank you for the follow. This is how you would say, hey, this is how many points I have. But we can simplify that. Yeah, the game was originally scored by pieces on the board. It's Chinese rules. But we simplify that process. We say, hey, eventually, I'm going to fill all this area. Eventually, this is going to be mine. Okay? And then eventually, this is going to be white's. But we don't have to put the stones down. We don't have to place the pieces. We agree that, hey, eventually, if I fill this up, it's going to be mine. It's going to be black stones. So do you agree with me? I pass because I don't think that's going to change anything. I'm just going to add the black stones to the board. And so if we compare this, and let's put white for squares. We compare this to right here. We still have 3 rows of triangles, 2 rows of squares. Okay. Where's my end result? Where'd my example go? There we go. Here and here. Same amount of triangles and squares. Hey, come on. You get the point. Same amount of triangles and squares. So what you're doing is you're saying, hey, do you agree that this is going to be eventually mine? And at the beginner level, you shouldn't. You should say, hey, I don't agree. Let's say black passes, right? I think I have more than you. As a beginner, you should be like, no, I don't agree. That I want to see if it's yours. And okay, you play it out. And then as you play it out, you'll learn, hey, that I actually can't do anything in here, right? Because I get captured, right? And eventually you get captured and you're like, oh, okay, now I understand that that is yours. And then once you understand that that is theirs, you can understand that this size is theirs. And then once we get stronger, we can do the same thing. Oops. You say, hey, is this mine? And then as you get stronger, you're gonna ask the question. So let's say this is white's. I don't know if that's yours yet, so I'm going to invade. I'm gonna place a stone in there and I'm gonna try to make 2 eyes. That's where life and death is. And if they let you, then maybe you take away all of their pieces, all the area, because now they can't capture you because you have 2 eyes. I don't know if you know what 2 eyes are. Do you know what 2 eyes are? The point is, you want to try and play in there until you understand, yes, I can take that away, or no, I cannot take that away. So you should play it out as a beginner. You should play it out and say, hey, this is yours or this is not yours. And until you understand it, you need to play it out. You don't know what two eyes are. Okay, so an eye is an illegal place to play. So for example, if white tries to play right here, it won't let me because this is going to immediately be captured, right? So it's in a suicide move because if I go in there, it's going to be captured. It's already surrounded. But if you are already surrounded, if this is the last area connected to the stones, which is known as Liberty, if the little lines or whatever are Liberties, if this is the last Liberty or the last point of this group, now I can play in there because now I'm capturing something. I capture you before you capture me. That's how that works. So I need 2 of these spots that are illegal because now I can't play here yet because it's not capturing anything. I can't play here because it's not capturing anything. This is known as an eye, and we need 2 of these illegal spots to live. We need 2 eyes to live. And so you'll hear a lot of people say that there's 2 eyes or this is alive. And what that means is there's enough area for me to make this 2-eye formation that you can't capture me ever. As long as I don't fill my eye, right? As long as I never fill my eye, you cannot capture me. It's against the rules. So that is what is known as a living group. It has 2 eyes. This is what's known as a dead group because it has less than 2 eyes. It either has 0 or 1. In this case, it has 1, but you need 2 eyes to live. So when you're contesting an area, what you're saying is, if I play in here, can I make enough space that I have 2 eyes and it can't be captured? And if I can, I'm going to take away that area. And white's job is to prevent black from making life in there. White's job is to say, hey, you're not going to make 2 eyes in there. So this is my area. This is my house because I'm going to eventually fill it with white stones. And I can say, I pass. I think this is mine. I think that is yours. And you can either agree or disagree. Once both players agree, then it's very simple. It isn't something that a lot of people, I think, get wrong on Reddit. Hey, thanks for the raid, Smuglet. I think that everyone on Reddit is trying to give you the perfect score, which if both players played out perfectly, but that's actually not quite correct. The perfect score is not as accurate as the rules, which say anything surrounded by a single color is points plus the stones on the board are points, right? And what people disagree on is like the status of groups. If you and your opponent passed and agree that something is alive, you might be wrong. But if both of you agree that it's alive, then those are not removed off the board and counted as points. Those are left there and you agree that it's alive and you might be wrong, but if you two agree that way, then that's kind of how it gets scored. But they will likely try to educate you on why it's alive or not alive or whatever, and they'll overcomplicate the result when all you're doing is like, hey, we passed here, this is the end of the formation, who wins? And by rule of thumb, you remove anything that you agree has 0 eyes or 1 eye. You remove anything that you agree will eventually be captured, stone removal phase. Once you agree with that, once you agree that the stones that are removed, you agree with your opponent, anything surrounded by 1 color plus the pieces on the board. That is your score. Don't overcomplicate it any more than that. Anything surrounded that you can fill with black stones is yours. You can fill it with black stones, or and white can fill this with white stones. That is yours. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. When in doubt, play it out. Right? I'm a big fan of playing it out until you understand it. I actually just had new Go Club members that I introduced the rules of the game, and I started them on a 5x5. Yeah, I started them on a 5x5 because if you start on a small board, you learn how the game functions. You learn how a piece gets captured, you learn how the score is counted, and you learn what the end might look like. And then you go up to a 9x9. Right? And then you do the same thing, but you have to like battle it out because you have 4 times the amount of space, kind of. You have 4 5x5s basically, and then you play the same game in 4 different corners, and you finish it in each of the corners, and then you score it again. And now you have a bigger understanding of how the game ends. And so what I did with them is I gave them black on a 5x5. So as the beginner, you should be black on a 5x5 because black almost always wins if you play good. Which, if you want, we actually have bots for this on Semengo Dragon. We have the campaign mode. So try out the campaign mode. The Goblin Camp is free, and it's for beginners. And it teaches you how to capture a piece, and then introduces the game, and then you play your first bot, which is against Gabi. Gabi, the beginner bot. And Gabi can be quite tricky to beat. But what you'll do is you actually challenge it on 5x5. For some reason, it's a little laggy today, so give it like a minute, because I'm not sure why, but it's having trouble connecting to OGS today. But in general, typically it works fine. But you'll wait like a minute or two, and you'll challenge Gabi to a 5x5 game, and you'll try to beat it on a 5x5. And after that, you'll do some more puzzles, and then you'll face the next bot, and then you'll just go up size by size. I believe maybe this goes up to 7x7, and then at Secret Grove, I think we get up to 9x9. I forget. But you just go up in sizes, and you can also do this with a friend. Like having a friend that you learn with is also great. Do it with a friend, and I think that's fantastic. And then eventually you'll work up to the 1919, and you'll agree that, hey, this is mine, this is not mine. So for example, we can agree that this is probably black's. At the end of the game, this is probably going to be filled with black stones. So we can say, hey, this is black's area. These are black's points, right? That's basically how we score. Yeah, start on a 5x5 until you can score the game. Once you can score the game, go to 9x9. Start learning your strategy. Second line cuts, don't miss captures, see the big picture. And then you'll probably play like 20, 30 9x9 games, maybe with another beginner. Ask if you have it, like bring them to the stream Thursdays and Fridays, get them reviewed. And then once you can understand how to finish the game at 9x9, you understand second line cuts, you understand how to push and block, then you're ready to move up to 30x13. Hello, Atari, anyone. And then once you're at 30x13, you'll learn how to invade. You'll learn your first invasions. You'll learn your first life and death problems, probably. And then once you learn how a group makes life or dies with understanding 2 eyes, then you move to 19x19, and then you get to the difficult stuff where it's complicated as all get out. But that's kind of the beauty of it, is this is one of those things that you never stop improving. And the joy that comes from, I can always be better than I was yesterday by playing the game and learning a new shape or something. And you can do that infinitely. So if you enjoy just forever being able to improve, this is great. If you say, I have to be a master at something, this is not so great, because they're never going to master this game. Like tic-tac-toe, you can master it, but you're never going to master Go. All right, so I do like that you're saving the cutting stone here. I think that is good. You could go right here directly, but fudge. But that's fine. As long as the cutting stone doesn't die, that's kind of the key here. Actually, yeah, you're fine. Oh no, you didn't save it. You didn't save it. No, you got to save your cutting stones. This is very, very important. The stones that are disconnecting groups need to be saved. This is the key to your attacking right here, is you're disconnecting this, and white has 2 problems. But if white did not capture, if white captures it by playing right here, white only has 1 problem. Right? So saving your cutting stones is very important. This is a nightmare. I don't know how to fix this. This is really annoying. Ooh, does a bot button work now? Ah, it works now. So if I go I go right here, what does the bot say? Yeah. Save the cutting stones. Okay, that's overcomplicated. The bot is correct, but I don't want to explain why. It's too complicated. I don't care enough because we're just getting to single digit Q. We don't need to abstract 5 down level attacking it. We just need to know saving cutting stones is important. Okay, that's the big idea. Oh, you think this is a net? I don't think it's a net. It does damage the corner, but we can't read that far at 10Q. We cannot read that far at 10Q, which is why I said just save the stun directly. But we can't read that far at 10Q. We just need to say save the cutting stone. We need to understand saving cutting stone is big. Once we understand that, we can then judge how to save the cutting stone. No, just just extend back. Don't worry about it. Just play like this. Look at your massive position right here on the right. Massive corner. In theory, you're not wrong, but in practice, saving the cutting stone should give you more value. Oh, I forgot to mention this. It's usually just typically better just to fix a cutting point. Don't go, don't descend down like this, because you technically leave more Aji compared to if you just connect. I might have to switch just for one game. I'm sorry, for one game, I need to use OGS. Hopefully that's acceptable. Where's the diff library? For one game, I have to use it for one game because it doesn't handle handicap. But the Explore Baduk is still a new server, so we got to be patient. All right, so I understand what you're trying to do, but if you save it, you'll have a group on top to profit from and a group on the right to profit from. So you'll have two things to profit from. So it's typically better just to save it. All of these are blue. Is there like some hidden comment? I want to see the SGF file. Oh, there's something in here that's causing a bug. Yeah, there's a comment on every single move. On every single black move. That's what's causing the bug. So it's actually not the handicap like I thought. It is a comment on every single black move. Yeah. Report on app we played in person. Yeah, because it doesn't give you the score. So whatever app that they were using is not cheating because it's not giving you the score, but it's saying, hey, I'm an AI, but I'm not allowed to post the score. So I'm going to post 0. I'm going to post nothing, but it still posted something. So it's a weird SGF file. I wonder if it can't handle comments. Let me... no, because it's Baduk AI. Smargo wouldn't be Baduk AI. I wonder if it's the slashes, maybe? I don't know. Why am I trying to figure it out? I don't know the code. I don't know what it's reading. I just have theories, right? I can't actually test any of this. But it's a very interesting SGF file. So I think you have an interesting SGF file in the sense that it's causing a bug in the tree. Interesting. What gave it away is that there's a blue circle on every single black move, so, which means there's a comment, but there's nothing in the comments. So there's a blank comment on every single black move. That's what gave it away. Yes, but I feel undeserving of that title. I made some Ego Dragon, so technically I've built software. But saying I'm a software engineer sounds like I have a college degree and I'm good at it. And I'm not. So I am a self-taught software engineer. So do with that information what you will. Yeah, I think this just creates a massive corner. Crosscut is when you want to start a fight, which isn't necessarily a bad idea here, but you don't need to. I think be more patient. But let's see how this goes. Okay. White is being very complicated. What do we do in complications? Defense first. Defense first. Oh, there's no simple way out of this. This is okay. This is why I don't want to crosscut. Okay, this is simple. Crosscut requires a lot of reading. I want to say here, 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 or here, here. It requires a lot. Crosscuts require a lot of reading. This is why crosscuts are so scary. This is not a ladder. You cannot ladder this. Okay, the way we value A, B, and C is save the cutting stones. A is cutting D from E, and C is cutting F from E, and B is cutting D from E and F. I don't think ChatGPT would be able to say... It could tell me what the abnormal characters are, but without it knowing what the JavaScript or whatever language is being used to read it, it wouldn't be able to tell you. So if I said, hey, here's the code, and here's the SGF file, ChatGPT, tell me what is causing the bug, it could tell me. But without the code, then ChatGPT is going to guess, and that's usually not helpful. Like, I could do that. Just looking at it, I could say, in theory, it's going to be these slashes or this little character right here. I'm not sure, but in theory, that's my theory. That's what I think would cause the bug. But without having access to the actual script, it's hard to say. Typically a crosscuts, you want a Nobi, so probably just here. It's a very dangerous situation. Just don't crosscut willy-nilly. Crosscuts need a lot of reading. Just threaten to cut and then make a lot of value. I think that's perfectly fine. Connections are your friend. Don't be fancy with your connections. Connections are your friend. Okay. You played a pre-peaked 1-point jump. We're immediately going to check. So just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to put that stone there. Does this work? No. Maybe you read this, but just remember that you're going to lose 1 stone for it. So I think probably just here. If you're planning to save that stone. If you go this way, it might be okay, but you have to check that cutting point. It just means you can't connect right here, which maybe you're fine with. Okay, making a base with the pincers, very nice. 4th line is perfectly fine for profit. You don't need 5th line profit. Touch Nobi. I really don't want you to do this until 5Q. Just Nobi. If they touch you, Nobi. Touch you, Nobi. A lot safer. Fix your cut. Perfect. Now look at this beautiful left side. Kick. Very nice. Punish. You did. Very nice. Surround the weak group. Very nice. This is perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, so now we want to attack these 2 stones. Typically, we want capping moves. So here. And then we don't want to lose our base. Protect our base. And then here. And we're building this area. Imagine one more, like we let white connect. And then we go shoulder hit over here and jump. This is our profit. That's what you can imagine. When they jump, take the tiger's mouth as the shape point. Then you can do whatever. You need that shape point. Don't peep it from this side. This is actually a really bad shape because this stone has damaged this stone and this stone has damaged that stone. So they're actually contradictory ideas that are damaging the other one. So white is cutting straight through while taking liberties of both sides. This is not a good formation. You want to say this is a broken shape. When white's just cutting through 2 stones, it's a broken shape. This leads to a cross cut again. Just block. They fix, you fix. You've got a formation. So I want to say these cross cuts are getting you in a lot of trouble. Just connect. It's your friend. It's your friend. Don't force them to capture stuff unless you're making it a false eye. You don't need to do that. Instead, I think fix your issue because you have an issue right here. Actually, you have an issue right here. Maybe just here. Just here. Just connect as your friend. Connect as your friend. Because without it, later, you have an issue right here. And you have an issue right here. You have 2 issues. Just have no issues. And your position's solid, strong, and you have a lot of territory. Okay, good. You know shoulder hits to develop. That's good. Touch Shinobi, very good. Don't push a knight unless you're going to cut the knight. And you can't cut the knight in this case. So don't push a knight unless you're going to cut the knight. Okay. You typically want to attack this stone. So take away its escape route. And then figure out where it's going to go. And then you can start attacking it severely, or maybe take away its other escape route. But you want to attack it. You want to surround it. You want to make it a life and death problem if possible. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to defend against a reduction. You want to attack the reduction. Defending against the reduction, and all of a sudden you lose half the value and white gets value on the outside, so you've lost most of the value. Because you got to realize, not only did you get only this much instead of this much, which you were threatening, so you got half the value. Whatever white gets on the outside is also going to cancel out the inside. So you don't even get that much, because white's going to get value on the outside that cancels it out. Shinobi. White is not alive yet. Don't let white off easily. Don't let white off so easily. Attack. Don't be letting them connect so easily. Yeah, this is tunnel visioning on your own territory. Yeah, you're only seeing your stuff, you're not seeing white stuff. This is something that's really hard to learn under like 3Q, but typically you don't want to make territory in Gote. You want your territory to be made in Sente. It's a difficult concept to understand, but basically you never want to make territory, well, not never, but like in the middle game, until the end game, we typically want to make our cache, our territory, something that can be taken away in Sente. We want to make a framework or a large area to attack with in Gote, that's fine. And then we want to attack something and make solid cache, solid territory in Sente. But what we don't want to do is we don't really want to block like 5 points or 10 points in Gote. And that's really hard to understand below 3Q. Thank you for the follow.
3 just followed.
That's really hard to understand below 3Q, but it's kind of a concept that you need to learn. Thank you for the follow, Wally. This would be considered in-game, and you're still in the middle game. Yeah, you're trying to block like 5 points. That's super small. I want to cut. I want to cut. Like, I want to cut this entire group off. That is what I want. I want this entire dragon to be in trouble. This looks like Dame. Yeah, I love how in handicap games, white's weaknesses slowly become the attacker of something. White is weak everywhere up until you're dead. Yeah, at this point, you want this move and then this move. And you sacrifice that stone to make eye shape. That way you don't die. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Endgame. So here and here. This immediately dies. If you want to do that, just do that. All right? Don't lose a stone for no reason. Oops. Oops. What's crazy is if you just fix your cutting point. You have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Right? You have 20 points. Versus you losing it. Now you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 minus 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I'm not sure if I want to count this or not. 11 or 12. So 9 minus 12 is -3. Sorry, is 3. -3, yeah, I had it right. 3 in white's favor. So you're at -3 points on top of the fact that you lost all of that. So how many did I say that was? How many did I say that was? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, so you had 20, and then it became -3. So it's a 23-point mistake, I think, if I did that right, which is larger than this. That cutting point is bigger than this chunk. That cutting point is worth all of that. Just fix a cutting point. Mm-hmm. Yes. You got to be careful with this because there is a potential for a co. It's a bad co. It's an unwinnable co for white. But you always want to hesitate, but maybe it's fine. This one might be fine. But always be careful about the co, because if your opponent is losing, they should fight the co. Because they're losing. What else are they going to do? Be careful about that when you're winning. Very good. What? Okay. Wait. You check the cuts. Yes. Then just block. Okay, I think... Oh, you resigned. How was white up by any value at all? This graph is completely wrong. This is such a weird as shit file. You're still up by 30. Why'd you resign? That doesn't make any sense. Why did you resign? New rule of thumb, you're not allowed to resign unless you're down by 30. I tell my students don't resign until like they're down by 35. And if they resign beforehand, then their judgment is... Yeah. You are not allowed to resign unless you're down by more than 35. You're winning by 30 and you resigned, which means you cannot trust your resignations. You lost a game that you were still a good chance. Okay. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. He could probably count. All right. We still have another almost an hour more of reviews. So if other people have games that would like me to look at, if you have questions, I'm happy to answer questions as well. All right, the bug is gone. We're great. How do you position yourself well at the beginning of the game? Actually, I can explain that pretty easily. So I'm assuming we're talking like as a beginner, not as an opening pattern, but like as a beginner, the theory of... Oh, I don't have black and white stones on the demo board. Oh no. Okay, I need to do a feature request. Where's my setting support? I need most stones for you. I need to be able to place black and white pieces exclusively. It's spelled correctly. In a review to set up sample options. Okay, so we're just gonna do it like this. So I'm gonna focus on the white stones. La da da da, la da da da. And then we're gonna do it on the side. Da 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 da, da 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 da. I think a lot of people have seen this example. Dum 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 dum. Should have made it like 4 points of territory instead of 9 points of territory. I would have had to use less pieces. Okay. So in each of these positions, white has 9 points of territory. Right, so white has 9 points surrounded. But notice how many moves it takes to get 9 points. Right, so here it takes 6. This is 9 and this is 12. Right, so this shows that it's more efficient to work with the edges of the board to surround points because it takes less moves. The edges of the board will help you make points faster. Okay, so we know that we want to play in the corners, then the sides, and then the center is last. Okay, that's our first theory. From there, we want to say, what line should we play on? Okay, well, the first line has 3 liberties instead of 4, so I call it the dead line. It is the line that is the easiest to die on, and it's looking at 0 points of territory, so it's the worst line to be on. The second line I call the losing line because it only gets 1 point at a time for 1 stone. It's not efficient. The third line is the line of territory and safety because it's getting 2 points at a time. It's hard to come under and take it away. So it is the line of territory and safety, so it's an efficient line. Fourth line is the line of development, so it's higher than the third line, but it's less safe, but it is good for developing a position. And the fifth line is too high because your opponent can play on the line of safety underneath it and take away all your points. So in our theory, we want the third line and the fourth line in the opening. This is opening theory. This is not applied to the middle game. This is just opening theory exclusively. So we know that we want to work with the edges, and we know we want to be on the third line and fourth line. This gives us a few starting points. So this one right here is the third line from both edges. This one right here is the fourth line from both edges. And this is a 34 point and another 34 point. So we know that we want to play one of these 4 points for our first move. And then for the second move, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to take the next open corner, one of those 4 points. And then after that, we're going to go along the sides. Remember, the side was the second thing to do. So we're going to go along the empty sides, and then we're going to play a pattern out, and then go to the next empty side, play a pattern out, go to the next empty side. And that's the opening theory on where to start. So the reason here that white doesn't just go to another empty side is because once you have a stone next to the opposite color, you're into the middle game stuff, which is attack and defense. And typically what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have support when the enemy is close by. So this is the simplest version of support. I make a 2-space jump in order to make a little bit of a foundation, surrounding foundation. So I have my own starting points from my stones. It's efficient. 2 stones are getting 4 points. So it's efficient. So I settle, black settles, I go to the open side. Black settles, I settle, we go to an open side. There is no more open side, so now we start middle game. So maybe I start surrounding your group, right? And then we go into middle game stuff. But basically, in theory, it's open corners, open sides, and defense is... attack and defense is greater than an open side. Hopefully that made sense. So white has decided to respond this way, and there's like thousands of variations that you can do in here. So just pick something simple. Black is expanding their side. Pick. Typically, I would jump, and then black owes another move, and then we can go over here. And if black goes over here first with whatever, later we can now attack this group. And this is later we can attack this group. So it's okay to play. The reason for that is because there is an annoying pattern right here, which means anything right here is going to threaten that move. So you have to block like this, and it's really uncomfortable, like that or like that. The 5-3 is not conventional, right? That is a because we have the theories, but at the end of the day, it's only a theory, right? Because at the start, you can technically play wherever you want. Like I can play the center point if it would let me. Like I can play right here, right? At the start, you can play whatever you want. But it is considered less efficient. Now, what you're talking about with the 5-3, this is non-conventional. But what it's doing is it's setting up a situation where they're playing the opening move and you've already approached it and they ignored. And you can start surrounding it. Maybe you want to bully it. So maybe you're an aggressive type player and you're setting up a position where you can bully something. What that would look like is, let's say black high approached and I ignored. Well, now I can bully this corner. That's the same type of idea, is I've pre-approached you and I can bully you. But the cost of that aggression is that you did not get the efficient points, so your aggression is going to have to get more than what they got in value by default. So you're taking less starting value in order to have a more aggressive position, and you're saying my aggressive and reading and all that stuff is going to get me more than the value that I lost in theory. But it's all theoretical, right? It's all theoretical. The opening is very theoretical. But it's just an efficiency thing. Oh, don't do this move. Don't do this move. Just play here. They make their base. You fix your cut. Base, base. That is a simple way to do it. Simple, simple, simple. Oh, you're black. Sorry. I forgot. I was so busy. Okay, if you're black, just go here. Just go here. I'm sorry, I forgot. 4-5 and 5, 5-3 and 5-4, or 4-5 and 4-3. Oh, what? Wait, 5-3 and 5-4, or 4-5 and 3-5 are all the same concept, just different ways of doing it. So the concept that I just explained applies to both. If you do this, you're setting up a pincer later. So it's a little annoying. Four, 5, and 5-4 are the same thing. It's just a different angle. Okay, you've played perfectly so far. White is shooting himself in the foot. Yeah, perfect. You played this perfectly. Arguably, you can get one more move and then do that. Arguably, you can get one more move, but it's perfect. It's fine. Yeah, white kind of shot himself in the foot. You don't need this move because you're already alive in the corner. So now you want a big move. I would like to get this. Just fix my position. And then after that, approach. Star point. Or maybe enclose my star point. This looks like you're trying to get the top side in your mind, but that's actually not what this move is after. This move's after the right side. What you want to happen is you want this sort of formation right here. And then after you get one more move, you can build it up like this. This is the kind of the formation you want, because you're building a bowl. You're building a bowl to hold water, right? And then you're inviting your opponent in so you can drown. That is your position. Right? You're building a bowl to hold water so you can drown your opponent. if you try to play it this way, there's already a white stone for your extension, so that doesn't make any sense. And if you're saying that you want the top side, well, this is on the third line, so you're not going to hold a lot of water. Right? You're holding very little water. So make your base for your group first, and then you can play a knight's move, and what you're threatening is this jump. You're threatening a very large jump. You also play a shoulder. This is a very large way of building this top right side. You're much stronger than your opponent. At least from what I've seen so far. Don't forget to update the title. What's wrong with the title? Title says open reviews on Explore Baduk for me. Does it not say that for you? Uh-huh. Okay, very nice. Oh, I bet you clicked the wrong thing. That makes sense. I think you clicked the wrong redeem. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, perfect. Yeah, your opening is much stronger than white's. Yeah, your opening is much stronger than white's. Hmm. If you want it to be annoying, you could look at this. If you want it to be annoying. I really want this move. Okay, my assumption is that you're looking at this because you're trying to make this a little bit more in your favor instead of white getting this, which is making this in their favor. Right? My assumption is that was your plan. Touch Nobi. Nope, touch Nobi. Touch Nobi. I don't know what you're doing, but fix your cutting point. Yeah, I'm starting to see a lot of issues in your middle game. Just fix your cutting point. Fix your cutting point. Okay. Nobi, make sure your group is solid. Don't leave cutting points. And then you can focus on saving this stone. Yeah, this gives you cutting points, and now white got a lot more moves to attack you with. Okay, this is good. That is weird timing. Just jump. Hello, Mothworks. Welcome, welcome. They connected, very good. Here's the thing, one weak group is fine. One weak group at a time is fine. You just don't want 2 or 3 weak groups. Running away, staying connected, very good. White's played that broken shape that I showed earlier in the stream, so this is good for black. Okay. Very good, Nobi. Now ignore, you're not cuttable, so go back to your weak group. You're not cuttable, go back to your weak group. This would be fine if you're developing the top, but you are currently a weak group. So fix your cut and get to the weak group. Uh-oh. Yeah. Do you change your username? I don't recognize this username. I clearly know who you are because you only one person has called me, but it's not confusing at all. You can't just change your username. I was like, who has moderator privileges? I don't remember this person, but I gave them moderator privileges, so I must have known them at some point in my life. Well, I forgot. I'm sorry. You're getting more and more surrounded, and you're doing nothing about it. You're getting more and more surrounded, and you're doing nothing about it. Are you? I don't know if you're watching. Like each of these white moves are just slowly surrounding your group. This move does nothing. It's not doing anything. You need to live. And I don't know how you're going to, but you need to. You're gonna die. Okay, when they go in, all you have to do is just watch your cutting points and take their eye space. So the only cutting point you have is here, so maybe push it to the right, and maybe they try something like this, and you just take the tiger's mouth. And they're dead. That's a simple way to play. Oh, hey, that's what you played. Nobi. Touch Nobi. Hey, that kills it too, though. All right, you killed it. Very good. Very good attacking. But your defense is like the exact opposite. So your attacking was good, but your defense is completely non-existent. So you just gave up the group completely. Like you never tried to save it. Crazy. Crazy. This is cuttable. Maybe it's not. Yeah, it is. Sorry, I should be reading out loud. There, 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 there. Yeah. Be wary of night swift's. This one's a lot less cuttable. A lot less cuttable. Night swift's have cutting points. You gotta go here. This one is very easy to read, I think. I think you play too fast right here. This is becoming close to denial, maybe. Maybe not. Oh no! No, 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 no! Connect! Connect! And then they go here, and then you go here, and maybe they die. They might be dead. They actually might be dead. Oh, man. They actually might have just been dead. It might have been a net the whole time. In which case, your reading is awesome. You read all of that from back here. Read further than I did. Oh, that is unfortunate. Block this way. Because if you block this way, I have all these little wiggles that I can wiggle through your stuff. Don't let me wiggle. Don't let me wiggle my way through. Okay. You don't need a monkey jump if there's nothing there. So you're actually not monkey jumping anything because you can just take it all away right here. White hasn't actually made anything there yet. Now White has, and you're taking it away. So this move makes no sense. Because it literally gets taken away immediately. There's no points right there anymore, so go over here. Actually, no, go here first. Go there. Then here maybe. I have no idea what you're doing. Well, now you can die. You gave White all these stones to kill you, and then you left. If you just don't do that. Okay, this is a good cut. That was, yeah, it's a very unnecessary go. Ow, my cat is eating my foot. I'm sorry, I forgot the black group is dead. I apologize. Ow, my foot! Cat is eating my foot. I completely forgot that black group is dead. Just do nothing then. The monkey jump is good. I lied. The monkey jump was good because I forgot that this group was dead. I'm sorry. Completely blanked on that. In this case, it's actually not the correct one though, because if I play right here, like this, I have no cutting point. But if you had played right here and I block, you still have the initiative. Right? You still have the initiative. Keeping the initiative is more important than 2 more points. So you only go 3 when there's going to be a cutting point, because you need to keep Sente, you need to keep the initiative. I completely forgot that group was dead. Oh my gosh. All right, hopefully that's enough for this game. I think the big thing is you didn't play defense and you just let the group die. That's probably going to be the big thing this game. Don't just let things, don't just give up entire dragons. Yeah, hopefully you found this review helpful. I completely forgot that that group was dead. I don't know what happened.
Black wins.
Okay. You for black, get a 9Q. Is this OGS? I thought you got up to 7Q on OGS. Okay, mini Chinese. I want to go high to keep the pressure on. I'm getting like really hungry. I don't know what I'm gonna eat though. I just started getting really hungry all of a sudden. So I'm like, okay, after the stream, what am I gonna eat? No, definitely high. Definitely high. Because you have support on both sides. You want to develop. Honestly, I want to go here. I want this. That looks pretty big to me. A good rule of thumb is with a 3-space extension, always throw a stone in and then do whatever you're going to do. This stone will be a headache for them. You don't have to follow it up. You never have to do anything with it, right? A lot of the times, they will play another move to kill it, and you'll get a free move. That's plenty. You spent an entire stone to get a free move. That's plenty. Plenty, plenty, plenty. You don't actually have to do anything with it. It'll just be their headache. So if they play 3 space, just throw a stone in and leave it alone. You go to punish. You gotta punish that. They're not respecting your Shamari. Someone is just being... Imagine there's a robber and they're just standing in your doorway and they're like, what? And you're like, you just go about your day. They're not in your house yet, but they're just standing at your doorway, just, you know, being robberly looking. I don't know what that looks like, but just being a robber, standing in your doorway. An intruder. They're being an intruder standing in your doorway. They have no reason to be there. They shouldn't be there, but they're just standing in your doorway. And you're just like, okay. And you just go and do the dishes or whatever. Now you gotta do something about it. You gotta attack them. Not literally. The metaphor's kind of breaking down, but you get the point. You can't let them just not respect your Shamari. They gotta respect your Shamari. Okay. Do you make this exchange first? I thought you just go here. I don't think you lose a stone. There's no reason to lose a stone, right? But then there's this idea. That might be good. I have an AI. AI, do I cut or do I not cut? It says cut is bigger than that. And it played almost the exact thing that I played. But it says extend is bigger. Just getting more thickness is bigger. Yeah, yeah. AI reads far. Okay. You basically got to the same answer I did. Just a different order. Okay, now you can use your thickness to attack. Booyah. Okay, just cut. Oh, yeah, AI, go away. Just cut. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. This type of flare, I swear, they're making it so complicated, but as long as you stay solid and strong, eventually they're gonna run into a weak group problem. Watch your cutting points. This one, I think, threatens to cut. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That one getting close. This one has a ton of cutting points. You gotta play a shoulder hit. Honestly, I think I would start trying to live with the group. I was actually considering just playing this. Because if you're alive here, you get to be the attacker. Yeah, I think this one is too far. Just go here. Okay. No, that stone is not important. Come back and punish this now. Maybe one more. White might actually just be dead. Very complicated game. Is your opponent Korean? Wu Bao Jian? Maybe. Maybe here. If they cut, you can go here. Honestly, I'm starting to also want this move. Maybe here first. You can just make life. Yeah, this is a difficult game. If it was me, I would be looking to absolutely go here. Bamboo joints are great. Chess.com of this game. Let's see, 9Q. What is that? What is the... Do you know the graph of players? Like this many players are this rank, this many players are this rank. So the top 50% of Go players are 7Q plus. So wherever that peak is in chess.com, well, that is just not right. There's no way. Wow. The average person is Dawn level on chess.com. That is crazy. Because I'm what, like 2100 to 2300? I'm somewhere in there. So I'm like right here. Wow, chess players are so much better at chess than we are at Go. At least compared to OGS. But also OGS doesn't, it kind of like stops right here. Like the OGS doesn't have anyone like past that point. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe OGS just doesn't have enough strong players. That might be the issue. Because all the strong players go and play on Asian servers. If you're talking about where to play, Explore Baduk is still kind of new. But that's what we're looking at and giving feedback on, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, OGS is where normally people are going lately in the English community. Fox is where the strong players go because there's more players on it. So it's kind of the most popular server in the world. But it's a little complicated to get in English. Yeah, I think... No, you can get a Steam app, but it uses OGS in the back end. So if you create an account on OGS, you can use Just Go on Steam. It's very pretty. It's very pretty. If you want community, I think join our Discord and watch Twitch streams. That's the best for community. for talking to people, asking for reviews. But yeah, this is a very pretty client on Steam. And this uses OGS, the online Go, to play. But if you want, you can also explore on Explore Baduk. This is an up-and-coming server. And the sponsor of today's stream. So give them a shout out. But that is what we're on right now, is explorebaduk.com. Not a lot of players yet. It's still in its early phases. Like, it's only been released for like less than a month. So it's still in its early infancy stages. But it's a up-and-coming Go server. Yeah, I don't like that you play the empty triangle. Okay, I can dig it. I can dig it. No, that's second line. I want this. They want to live on the second line, by all means. They can die on the second line. I want this cutting point. Surround! Surround, surround, surround. Surrounding is very important when in attack and defense. No, PandaNet and KGS are still active Go servers. I think KGS probably should die. But I don't think it's going to. They're still active. They're just a very small community. PandaNet is the Japanese community, so obviously it's going to be big as well. PandaNet is much bigger than OGS. Because it's the Japanese community. Any sort of Asian server is going to have more people. Speaking of, for software developers, I cannot find any API for PandaNet. But supposedly it exists. PandaNet's a client, though. Can you do that? Oh, this looks so complicated. No, this looks awful. I don't want to learn this. Well, there goes that. There goes that. All the IPs and stuff. But I just wanted simple API calls like OGS has. Yeah, I don't want to deal with all that. That's cool. The European Goat Congress is sponsoring PandaNet. I really like PandaNet, honestly. As far as Go servers go, I really do like PandaNet. It's such a blurry image. There's like no images for PandaNet. There we go. Yeah, that's basically what Go looks like on PandaNet. This is a very nice English client, honestly. I think Explore Baduk looks nice, but it's just not, there's not a big enough community on it yet. That's its big weakness right now, because if there was a big enough community, I think Explore Baduk would be fine. Okay. Don't let him out. Don't let him out. Don't let him out. Okay, they made life. Now you're done. Go away. No, they're alive. Now it's too small to play. They are alive. Now we come back to this group. Maybe a jump. And then while they're trying to live here, you're going to make influence to build like this right side. Yeah. Okay. I'm really surprised they responded. That's so small. Remember, this group's alive now. Well, basically alive. It's almost alive. So attack from the weak side. Or you can even make sure it's alive by doing that and threaten to connect, and then jump. But basically, attack from the weakest side. That way you're gaining strength while you're attacking. No, we don't push the elephant. The response to the elephant is a knight's move. This is an elephant side. The response is a knight's move. If we push the element, we damage the other stone. Do not push the elephant. Again, don't push the elephant. It is a knight's move. Knight's move, knight's move, knight's move from the elephant. The elephant is a knight's move. Fix a cut, fix a cut, fix a cut. Don't die in the corner. You probably die in the corner. At least these two stones do. No, you gotta go here, 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 here. You gotta make life. Maybe here first. Gotta make life. You lost track of the whole board. No, this corner's dead. This corner is dead. Maybe it's not. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I was thinking we could find a cut. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. What if I push? No, there's nothing. And that goes like that. Why can't I click the spot? There we go. And then play like this, like this, like this, like this. And then white's dead. I killed the entire white group. Whoops. I guess you can live. Okay, so is there a counter? So what I did was I threatened to connect, and if white tries to cut you, then you make eye space. No, white can go here first. White goes here first. AI. I've read as much as I could read. So here, what is happening right now? Why can I not play? And then I go for the cut. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it does that. Oh, you never heard of Samega Dragon? It's great. Samega Dragon is go problems, but we have dragons. Yeah, the beginner stuff on Samega Dragon is free, but it is a premium service because all the puzzles are organized for your benefit by editors. So it's a lot more organized, hand-picked sets for the campaign, categorized so you can do search by categories and all that stuff. It's a lot of manual stuff to make it more convenient for you to use, and we have cute dragons that you collect. If you have any questions about it, let me know. Anyway, yeah, okay. So you die. One, two, three, four, five, six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What? You killed it. How'd you kill it? Oh, because white played a wasted move that did not take a liberty. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that is so funny. You don't need that move. Technically, you don't need this move. Yeah, let me know if you enjoy it. And also, like, I'm the developer, so if you have like feature requests, let me know. But yeah, too many. I understand that too many subscriptions can be annoying. Play the bamboo. Stop playing empty triangle and play the bamboo. For the free stuff, check out the first of the campaign to see if you like it. The beginner stuff is free. It's the higher stuff. Puzzle Rush, you can do 100 puzzles on Puzzle Rush per day. There's the daily problems, which the daily challenges, which are free. There's Puzzle Path. Puzzle Path is free. So we got a lot of free stuff on there as well. Yeah. Lifetime's not cheap, I'm sorry. Lifetime is about 3 years plus. It's basically saying I'm going to use this app for a minimum of 3 years. Just take the liberty. That's the simplest solution. Yeah, but now you have this stupid ladder. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, it all came falling apart. Oh no, you had it too. Surround the weak group. You're not surrounding the weak groups. Yeah, I think this type of opponent is very, very aggressive, and there's not a lot of people who are like that, so it requires a lot of experience to play them. So I think it's just you lost track of the global situation. So that just comes with more practice. It's specifically more practice against fighting type players, which are not as common unless you're on Fox. Oh, it was so close. It was so close. Did you lose this game? Wait. Can you go here? Oh, you're gonna die. You're dead. Oh, crap. Hey, look, you played the bamboo. The one that's the empty triangle, but you played it. Okay, you didn't notice. You didn't notice you were dying. Yeah, basically, you overworked your brain is what happened. Your brain got pushed to its limit, got overloaded, and you lost track of the board. All that means is you just need more practice and go problems. Your mental stamina could not keep up with the complication of the game. It doesn't mean you played any bad strategies, though. It just means your brain got overworked. You ran out of stamina. But I want you to notice, this type of player has no control over the result. What they're doing is just wearing you down over and over and over with these complicated fights, but they're losing the entire fight up until you make a mistake. Which is why it's so annoying to play them, but they're not the ones controlling the result. They are relying on you to make a mistake to win. So they're going to get stuck. It's not reliable improvement. But yeah, it does take a lot of effort to not lose. And if you do make a mistake and lose, it's very tilting. Okay. Said you died in the center, but you lived in the center. Oh, that doesn't make life. That doesn't make life. That's actually activating a cutting point. Oh, now you're cuttable. Uh-oh. Oops. Oh, wait, that's just the net. I'm stupid. Yeah, it's just the net. It's okay, I missed it too. In your defense, I missed it too for a second. In your defense, I did miss it for a second. Yeah, it is a net. Oh, that is unfortunate. Yeah, now it's just game over. There's no way you win that capture race. Just go here. It's less complicated. Does that do anything? Am I sure? Am I wrong? I think so. I think it's fine. Take the liberty. It's a lot easier if it's an Atari than if you have to play 2 moves to do it. Because then something like them making an eye doesn't become Sentai. Oh boy. No, I think you just connect. I think you just connect. That is connection go problems. Oh, this just works too. I'm so stupid, bro. Oh, my brain is dumb. I'm overcomplicating it. This just works as well. I am overcomplicating it. You're alive. Oops. Oops. Oh, and you timed out? Hello, Ryujigo. Yeah, white's dead. White's dead. It should be I versus no I. Like, it should be I versus no I for sure. So white should just be dead. They timed out. Got it. There's actually another I right here. There's a lot of go problems in this game. Look at this big clump of stones with like all these just little dots in it. It's like sprinkled with dame. It's a big clump of stones with a little sprinkle of dame. Yeah, this type of game really wears you down. I thought you said you lost. You won. I thought you lost for some reason. Yeah, it just takes a lot of practice. Honestly, if you wanted more practice like this, you could play handicap games. Like play like 6 stones to 9 stones, and then the opponent has to be aggressive and then keep track of the whole board, and it's actually quite difficult. But once you get the hang of it, your fighting improves. And then this type of player will be stuck. But yeah, just keep doing go problems and keep grinding it out. I mean, you outplayed this person, and it's just your brain got tired. So just keep doing go problems until the puzzles become easier. And we'll leave it at that. Hopefully you found it helpful. Unfortunately, no, that was the last review of the day. I'm sorry. But if you're interested in the server, this was Explore Baduk. This is the new Go server that's came out. It's a up-and-coming server. Still small for now, but it's under active development. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream today and found it educational and helpful. And with that, we'll go ahead and read bats. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys found the stream educational, helpful, and improved your Go game just a little bit more. And with that, I will see you guys next time.